Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. Today I'm taking a look at the Seattle Seahawks and going over whether or not in the upcoming season I think they're a contender or a pretender. But before we get into that topic, just a quick question for those of you viewing. Comment down below what you think the Seahawks record will be in the upcoming season. And of course, keep in mind that there's 17 games. Comment down below your prediction. I'll give mine at the end. But getting straight into it, just to make it clear, in this video, I'm defining contender as Super Bowl contender. Not a team that wins a division or makes the playoffs to get a single playoff win. A team that is on par with the tier 1 teams in the NFL that could very realistically go all the way to bring home the Lombardi Trophy. You know, up there with the Bucks, the Chiefs, the Bills, the Packers, the top tier 1 teams. That is what I'm defining contender as for this video. But getting straight into it and looking at the Seattle Seahawks, they got a pretty good start at quarterback. I'd say you have a top 5, arguably top 3 quarterback in the league. Really depends how you want to rank guys. I think a lot of people would agree that Mahomes and Rodgers are 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4 is probably Wilson or Watson. Interchange whoever you want, wherever. So top 5 is where I'm going to say just to be safe. It's a pretty good start, I'd say. Chris Carson's an above-average back out of the backfield. Probably not top 10, probably top 15. And Russell Wilson can always help out with the run game when needed. Offensive line, definitely not the best. They brought in a guard this year, Gabe Jackson from the Raiders, to help out a little bit. I don't think that's going to fix every problem. I do think Russell Wilson's still going to get his fair share of sacks, but it's at least working towards the right direction. Looking at the receiving room, you got DK Metcalf. He's a top 10 receiver to me. He's a mutant. He's a freak. He's a freak in nature. The dude is a beast. No denying. Tyler Lockett's one of the best number 2 wide receivers in the NFL. You can make the argument they're the best wide receiver duo in the NFL. I don't think they are, but they're definitely a top 5 wide receiver duo in the NFL. In my opinion, they brought in Dwayne Eskridge, a second-round wide receiver. Receiving room's looking pretty good, especially after they brought in Gerald Everett, a big athletic tight end as well. I'm liking the receivers. I'm liking Russell Wilson. I'm liking the backfield, and the offensive line is getting there. Offense is looking pretty sturdy. Defense is a little bit of difference. They got these specks of talent. Carlos Dunlap, Bobby Wagner, who's arguably the best linebacker in the league. Make your argument. Bobby Wagner, Darius Leonard, Derrick Kendricks, Vontae David, Fred Warner, whoever you want. They're all pretty similar. Even if you get Bobby the crown, congrats. Number 1 linebacker in the NFL. Jamal Adams, I guess. You could make the argument he's number 1 safety in the league. I probably wouldn't call him number 1, but he is top 5. You know, he's right around the realm of Minkah Fitzpatrick, Justin Simmons, Jesse Bates. A lot of people like Derwin James if he's coming back healthy. Bobby Wagner is Jamal Adams is definitely on par with any other safety in the league, though. Carlos Dunlap, like I said, helped get in there some pass rush. Those are like 3, 4, 5 above average players. I know some of them are tier 1s, but I just feel like Jamal Adams, Bobby Wagner, Carlos Dunlap, they can't carry an entire defense. And then there's other specks of talent as well. You know, you got Trey Flowers in the secondary, and they tried bringing in, I forgot who the corner was last year, Quentin Dunbar they brought in Alden Smith. They tried bringing in extra talent, but these guys, something happens, they get hurt, they get in trouble. They're trying. I'm not saying the Seahawks defense is awful, but I just feel like these specks of talent can't carry the entire defense, in my opinion. They did bring in Trey Brown, a 4th-round draft pick, to help out in the secondary. He's not going to start day 1. He might not start at all, but he might be able to develop into a guy that could come in on situational plays. A lot of it's going to depend on Pete Carroll and his coaching as well. But when you got DK Metcalf, Russell Wilson on the other side of the ball, you can take your foot off of the gas just a little bit on defense because your offense can, I don't want to say carry you, but definitely pick up the load sometimes when the defense is down. I like the Seahawks this year. I know a lot of people are speculating that they're not going to be as good as they was last year, and while I think that it's up in the air and there is potential for that, until I see it, I'm not saying it will happen. I could see them take a turn left and go downhill, but until it actually comes into fruition, I'm not going to predict that. As of right now, I'm voting that they are a contender. I think pretender is possible. While you don't want that to happen, I do think that is possible. You know, a team like the Chiefs, Bucks, Packers, if Aaron Rodgers is healthy, I feel like they're a contender and contender only pending injuries. Seahawks, this is a team I am leaning towards contender, but they do have the possibility of being pretenders. I just feel like the other ones, Bucks, Chiefs, there's no way they're not going to be at least a Super Bowl contender this year. Seahawks, I think they're on the right path, but with a tough division, with a weaker defense, with Pete Carroll not catching up with the times, having to deal with innovative Sean McVay, innovative Kyle Shanahan is going to be a tough year. But when you have the X factor in Russell Wilson, a top 5, arguably top 3 quarterback, I cannot count them out. They are a Super Bowl contender for me. Not saying they're my Super Bowl favorite, Not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl, but I do think they are on par with the Super Bowl teams, and they're in the Super Bowl bubble of the Chiefs, of the Bucks, of the Bills, Ravens, Browns, Titans, Packers, Niners when healthy, Rams when healthy. It's going to be tough this year. Not saying they're going to win the division, but this is a team that if they got into the wild card round, it's not a team that I want to play. I could see them making a Super Bowl run from the wild card round. The NFC West, 4 teams could make it out of that division into the playoffs, and every single one of them could be a lethal Super Bowl threat. We'll have to see how it turns out, though. A lot of it is going to depend on Pete Carroll. Can he catch up with the times, become more innovative in the offense and in the defense? Can Russell Wilson avoid getting hit and avoid getting sacks? I know it's not completely his fault, but can his offensive line protect him more is the other thing? And can the defense keep up with the offense? A fourth one, DK Metcalf. Can he get some hands that are better than what his body gives him? You know, he's the most physical freak that any team would want on their team when it comes to wide receiver position, yet he struggles with hands. He doesn't have the greatest routes ever. I like him. The dude is a tank. I'd want him on my team, but he needs to still improve. You know, his physique got his foot in the door, but he needs to continue to work and train. And I know he is. I'm not saying he's not. I think he's got a great work ethic. I think he's very cerebral compared to most other receivers. I've heard him and Russell Wilson talk in interviews that he actually brings in plays to Russell Wilson and wants to develop things, and he studies film. That's a great thing, but I'm just saying we need to see the improvement. I like the Seahawks team. I like Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, a top 5 wide receiver, quarterback 2-0. I like this team to be a contender. I just have to see how it will play out with defense, with protection, and coaching. What's it going to be? What's going to be the verdict? I don't know, but you guys tell me, do you agree or disagree with my take? Do you think they're a clear-cut contender? Do you think they're a clear-cut pretender? Maybe you do think they're going below 500, last in the division. Defense can't keep up. Protection won't keep up. Pete Carroll won't keep up. Maybe that's your take. If so, I do want to hear. I'm open to other opinions and open takes. I might change my mind after seeing one of your comments and change my own vote. But again, are you contender, pretender, or kind of like me in the middle, leaning towards contender, but you know some things could change for Seattle this year being in the tough division and given the other circumstances? Give me your takes. I'd love to hear them. Referring back to the question today, or the question for the video, what do I think the Seahawks record will be? Personally, it's so tough to predict with them being in the division. I could see them getting 9 wins. I could see them getting 14 wins. It's tough. If I was forced to pick a number, 12-5 sounds about right to me. I think 11-6 to 13-4. I would actually say 10-7 to 12-5 would be my better range if I was forced to pick. I think 12-5 could be a nice sweet spot for the Seahawks this year. That doesn't mean the Rams won't get 13-4, 14-3 and top them, but I do think the Seahawks will still have a good season and get above 500 with some cushion there as well. You guys tell me what's your prediction. As always, and of course, I truly appreciate it. I know I say it every video, but I do really mean it, guys. Thank you for watching. 2-minute warning.